Here is the Waykar dehumidifier. I believe this is the smallest one they offer at 31 pints per day in a very humid and warm environment. It is the model PD160B, and it only pulls allegedly 1.2 amps and uses 134. Now, this machine, we're going to do a teardown on this today because I believe this contains a reciprocating compressor, which would be absolutely shocking to me if it really does. But it runs exceptionally quiet, it's quite efficient, and it doesn't shake at all. It's very quiet, very smooth, and it has that clunk to it. Which is very much a reciprocating compressor sound. So I'd be shocked if something this new and inexpensive uses the best kind of compressor. But I've been surprised before. So let's see what we got here. No idea how this comes apart, so this is a learn as we go ordeal. I don't know if the equipment is attached to the front or to the back. I say we start by taking the back off. All these screws are a very reasonable tightness so far. I need to get a longer bit for this one up at the top. Oh, my bits are an absolute disaster. I don't understand how that happened. I don't think it fell or anything. What the heck is it like that for? It's a disaster. The bits are all over the place in there. What a stinking joke. Alright, this should be long enough. Yeah. Okay, so that's all 4 screws from the back. Doesn't seem like anything's interested in splitting yet. There do appear to be screws behind this handle, so we might have to remove the handle, which looks like it comes off pretty easily. Okay, it looks like it's ready to come apart now. Well, look at that. Not only is that super easy to take apart, it does have a reciprocating compressor. That is absolutely a reciprocating compressor. I can't believe it. And it's so easy to clean. You've got full access to the coil just from that one removal of the back panel. And the air goes in here, so this is where the dust is going to be, and the evaporator's in front, of course. So that's what's gonna get moldy. It's solid copper, so it shouldn't rust much. Wow. Huh. That is absolutely astonishing. This stupid thing is actually made pretty well. This is all tight here, so it's not going to be an issue. I got a tie wrap on there. This is baffling to me. We've got, that's probably a humidistat, and this is probably defrost. Wow. Huh. That is absolutely incredible. Huh. Unbelievable. The only thing I don't like is these wires over here are a little bit loose, and they could potentially rub up against the condenser coil and create little pinholes in those loops. So I'll probably tie this, just kind of put a tie wrap on here to tie this up and just keep it in place. But huh, that's unbelievable. It actually has a full-on reciprocating compressor in there. It's made by of course it's some random Chinese brand, probably. I've never heard of it. Silicone compressor. Heating and refrigeration. I don't know if that's a reputable brand or not. I've never heard of it. But, well, I'll be. It's got a reciprocating compressor with 134 refrigerant. That's incredible. I really don't see any reason why this thing shouldn't run for decades. I mean, it's got a good coil. It looks like it's all, I mean, to me it looks like the evaporator's copper, and then the condenser, which should never get wet, is aluminium with copper tubing. The condenser's not going to rust. The evaporator would rust if anything. I don't see any rust at all, and I've had this thing running quite a bit this summer, and there is no rust to speak of. I mean, I also kept it clean. I cleaned the filter and everything, so it shouldn't get dirty, but it's all plastic here, no stupid styrofoam stuff. Wow. Well, that is absolutely incredible. It does have a reciprocating compressor. I knew it. I could tell just from the sound of that clunking. It was a reciprocating compressor. So now my next question is, how do you service the fan? Because I think if anything will go wrong in this unit, it's going to be the fan, because I don't think that it's a ball bearing motor. I think it's a sleeve bearing motor, which is unfortunate, but let's see. If it's easy to get to, then keep it oiled, it should be fine. Tell me this just lifts right off. It looks like it should. It does. It lifts right off. You got the control panel, so you got to be a little careful of that. But that came right off, and no trouble. And now the fan is in its own little housing here, so we got to figure out how do we get to the fan. That might not be quite so simple. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like this, the removal of this is a little bit more complicated. We're going to have, let's see, there's a screw there, a couple screws there. It might not be a total atrocity. Well, let's go for it. I'm absolutely astounded this actually has a reciprocating compressor in it. That's crazy. Now all these screws are the same size too. They're all the same, which is the way it should be. So right now we're going to remove this metal panel up at the top of the coils. I'm not sure what its purpose is, but I'm going to take that off. And here we have the control board. Now, I'm no fan of electronic controls, but at least this looks like it's relatively simple. Capacitor is easy to get at and change if needed. And of course, if the controls ever failed, it's easy enough just to wire it up live and plug it in. Alright, so I think next we have to remove, okay, so the coils are free now from the front. I think we just have these two screws on the bottom, which are going to be a little bit tricky to get at. Not too bad. Same as screws all the others still. They're all the same. Now this could be unplugged. It's got all tape on it for some reason. But it looks like that should be able to be unplugged. For some reason it's all taped up. Or glued rather, it's glued. But that's only hot glue. I can probably just peel it off and then get the plug out. Oh, it's on there pretty good. just separate that from the rest of the unit. Or we can throw it across the room and damage it. That's great. Okay, so now we have these two screws left here, and that might be it. Looks like it's ready to come. I'm going to take this capacitor off. There you go, access to your coils, and you can see the fan motor in there. Let's see, this should, I think it's ready to come out. Oh, we got one more screw down there. And there you go, you got full access to both sides of the coils with relative ease. And now you have the fan motor, which actually maybe it is ball bearing, I don't know. It does spin pretty freely. Wow. And the fan motor is connected to these clips, which should come off, so you could separate the fan motor from the controls pretty easily. And it looks like just a couple of screws would remove the shroud from the motor area, and then you could service the fan. Certainly looks like it ought to separate from there. Gotta be one more screw somewhere. Yep, there is. One more screw I was missing. There's your fan, and look at that. The fan is not pressed onto the shaft. It is held on by a nut. So you can, get this, remove the blade from the shaft. Ain't that a concept? Look at that. Removable blade. Yeah, actually it spins pretty free. That might be a ball bearing motor. Let's get that blade off of there, just for proof of concept. Wasn't outrageously tight. Some junk on the shaft there, but well, this might be stuck. No, it's not. Just need to get that junk off the shaft. Some Loctite glue or whatever that is. Blade came right off with ease. Oh yeah, you know what? I think that is a ball bearing motor. It's a 19 watt motor. Here's the informations. So now you could do bearing replacement. Actually no, that's got to be a sleeve bearing motor. It's not spinning super easy like a ball bearing would. That's sleeve bearing for sure. You probably could even... Oh, is this an ECM motor? This might be an ECM motor. It's got an awful lot of wires going in and out of there. Let's just see if it comes apart easily. Well, that's to remove it, it's not to split it apart. No, it has no screws. So the motor don't come apart. The serviceability stops at the motor. But hey, this is a great design. Where are these engineers that made this thing? They deserve a prize. Because they designed a unit that can actually be serviced and repaired. I'm absolutely shocked. That is appalling to me that something new actually exists that's able to be serviced, and easily too. No part of this process was at all frustrating to me. That's crazy. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. It's actually designed correctly. Shocking. And even this, it's metal in the middle. It's metal. And they even put a grease all on there so it slides on easier. It's correct. That's incredible. Something modern that was designed correctly. I'm baffled. I'm absolutely baffled. I mean, there are vintage units that are more difficult to get apart than this. Well, all I can say is I am shocked. The unit is actually built correctly. It's super easy to take apart, and it has a reciprocating compressor. Incredible. I have to wonder if their larger models are just as good. I doubt it. You know, I highly doubt it, but who knows? I don't remember what this cost, but I mean, it's worth whatever it cost and more, because it really, I don't see why this shouldn't last a very long time. And these screws are all the same. That's what's interesting to me. These screws are all the same. Well, this is one. Looks a little bit longer than the rest, but otherwise they're all the same. That is so rare. The one for the capacitor was a little bit longer. But otherwise they are all the same screw. And that's unheard of nowadays. You can't find something with screws that doesn't have like 100 million different screws and they're all some kind of a stupid weirdo bit. Oh, this is fantastic. I am so surprised, pleasantly surprised by the design of this machine. Oh, it's shocking to me. It's absolutely shocking. This is the only modern dehumidifier I've come across that I would use in my house. The only one. Small capacity, this won't take care of the whole basin, but I'd rather run 3 or 4 of these than one of some other piece of junk. Alright, now I don't quite remember exactly where all these screws, the order these screws went. I might be getting some of this wrong and have to go back and correct it, but that's not a big deal. It's so easy to clean too. It's just incredible. I haven't seen a dehumidifier design like this in a long time. This is like 2 decades or so prior they were made like this. You know, easy to take apart. Still plastic, but at least they were decent. Completely baffled by this. I think this is the worst part right here, getting these screws on. As long as you have a magnetic driver, it's not even that difficult. Well, this just goes to show that there do exist, albeit they are super scarce. There do exist decent products that still come out of China. They're very far and few between, but they do exist. I really do suspect that this will run for decades, unless you hit the capacitor may fail or something stupid like that. But this should keep running. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't. Everything about it seems to be correct. It's kind of like a little refrigerator compressor in there. I don't know why they chose to mount this capacitor outside here. This is kind of odd, but it's nothing wrong with it. It's just strange. There's certainly plenty of room within this control panel. They could have put it in there. Whatever. This is just absolutely incredible. I am completely astounded by this contraption. It's not even like just a decent design, like it's a really correct design. It's designed correctly. It's easy to service. That's how it's supposed to be. Of course, I'm sure nobody will actually service it, except for myself, maybe 10 of the people that watch this video, but still, the concept is there. It is conceptually correct. And I'm absolutely astounded by that. Well, let's plug this control panel back in, and let's power it up while it's opened, so we can see how everything runs. I've actually never measured the power draw on this thing before. I don't have any reason to believe that it doesn't draw what it says it would, but I'd like to just see for myself that it's true. Alright, that's connected. The only thing I want to do to this is just tie up these wires here. I think not exactly sure where I should attach them to. I just don't want them up against the coil, or up against the not up against, up against the loosely up against the coil. I think like that is good. If I'll just grab the tie wrap and do that. Okay, I got the tie wrap. I just want to take all these wires and secure them to this loop, because you don't want to have wires loose anywhere near the coils, because if it's vibrating up against there, granted there's not much vibration in this machine, but if there was, it could cause problems over the long run, so we'll just prevent that problem like that. There. Now the wires are away from any source of potential problems. And we'll snip this off. Good. And this side looks generally copacetic. I would rather have a second zip tie on this side and tighten this one up a little bit if I can. Oh, these need some oil. Not good. These are barely operating anymore. Okay, so that's nice and tight up against there. I'll grab one more tie wrap. This is really just me being particular at this point. Would this cause a problem? Probably not, but why not spend 3 minutes to eliminate the chance? There, now there's going to be no vibration. No coils vibrating up against each other. That's solid now. Okay, so that's the way I like it to be. Got a little drain plug here. Continuous drain. Put that back in for now. Okay, so let's go ahead and power this thing on. I'll plug it into the kilowatt meter so we can see what the power draw is like. Doesn't even have a fuse plug. It's got a regular plug on it. No GFI thing. Oh, whoa, look at this. Look at this. There's a schematic on the inside. I didn't even see that. It's got a schematic. You don't see that anymore, ever. I haven't seen nothing with a schematic in years. This thing is an absolute Chinese manufacturing wonder. I have not seen something like this come out of China in a very long time. Alright, we're live now. We're looking at 118.6 volts. Go over to amps. And I'll move the camera. I'll just put it down by the compressor for now. And I'll turn it on. It's complaining about the bucket being empty, or the bucket not being in there. Sure enough, 1 amp. Power factor of 0.91. Refrigerant sloshing around in there. Cold all the way through. See what our temperatures are. Well, I'm going to let this run for a while and see what transpires. I think it's probably very dry down here. What is it? Looks like it says 44. 44%, 60 degrees. Actually, it's not that dry, so this might, it might grab some moisture. And that's what's going to be our humidistat. This is set to 44. That's exactly what that one's reading. That frost starting on there? Yep. 60 degrees is pretty cold to be operating one of these machines. They don't like to work much below like 70. 70, 75 is about as low as these machines like to operate at. Tend to just get ice after that. Well, I'll let this run for a while and see what happens. I'll come back 15-20 minutes and see if things get the temperature. It's just a couple ticks above ambient. Yeah. The compressor case itself is still pretty cool. It'll take a while to heat up. It's pretty cold down here. It's a really nice quiet unit too. This is one of the quietest dehumidifiers I've ever heard. Even vintage ones are much louder than this. It's just astounding. I can't believe this thing is actually made correctly. I've had it running for about a half an hour now. The compressor is cool to the touch. It is a whopping 75 degrees. Coil is 30s and 40s, which is good. You don't want to go much below that because it'll just ice up. It's cool all the way through. Yeah, ice on the loops, which is to be expected at 61 degrees. That's kind of cold to be running one of these. But there's no ice on the coil itself, and the fan's only on low. Put the fan on high, it's possible that it might take that ice off, but not bad. And we got 1.1 amps, 111 watts with a power factor of 0.92. Oh, 0.93, 0.94, somewhere in there. Pretty high. So electrically this is quite efficient. And yet it's still designed correctly. The condenser is very cool. 134 is a great refrigerant. It's a nice low pressure refrigerant and it's very effective. Okay, I'm going to switch it off now and we'll continue reassembling. For some reason the fan has a delay on and off. I don't know why. You know, if it was like several minutes I could see that because it would dry the coil off, but a couple of seconds I'm not sure what purpose that serves, but it doesn't do any damage, so who cares. So let's put this back on. Should go very quickly, I think. I don't think any water dripped out, but it's cold down here. It's not that damp anyways. I missing here? That was a little finicky, but all things considered, not that bad. Alright, that's back on now. Not sure if the screw goes on. That goes on afterwards. So what did I undo for this? There's two screws on the front here. I think that was all. Let's see, we got 36, 8 screws left, and this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I think that is everything. Oh, you know what? I just noticed a potential problem with the modification that I did. This could cause water to run down these wires. I'm going to have to undo that. Well, maybe this was the way it was for a reason. Yeah, in fact those wires cannot be, so we'll just leave them out like that. And they should be fine as long as they're away from the coils. They should be fine. Okay, let's close this back up. Well, all I can say is, wow, what a delight to clean and service this will be. Perfectly simple. Easy to disassemble. All the parts are accessible. The parts are easily replaced. Low pressure refrigerant. Reciprocating compressor. And that's really all you can ask for in something like this. This is by far, I would say, the absolute best dehumidifier still made. And I would get them while you can, because I highly doubt they're going to keep using 134 in these forever.